Hey, welcome back to the Ping Pong Flix Show. My name is Chris Wong. This is episode 456 of the Ping Pong Flix Show. Yes, I skipped a video last night. Instead of doing one of these Ping Pong Flix videos, I went straight to the live chat, and it's all because Zack Snyder dropped a huge bomb, and that's the Black Suit Superman. I waited about half an hour because I wasn't sure if he was going to drop another bomb this within this hour. Doesn't look like it, so that's why we're going to continue on. Unless he does it right after I finish all this, then we'll see what happens. But in any case, there were a couple DC film updates. The first one is Ezra Miller's The Flash. Warner Brothers and Ezra Miller's The Flash movie gets a release date of July 1st of 2022. Yes, apparently Ezra Miller is still attached to it. Andy Muschietti is still the director for that. He is fully on board for that, and I think they finally got something working out for that. And seeing that Ezra Miller is involved, then you know he actually probably approves and of the story, approves of what Christina Hodson and Andy Muschietti has in mind for the character, rather than the directors from before, John Francis Daley and Jonathan Goldstein. I think they had some type of comedic thing, maybe something lighter, and maybe that's something that Ezra Miller didn't care for and would have rather work with Andy Muschietti this time around. So that's at least we're thinking and we're wondering in any case. So in 2022, there's going to be The Flash and Aquaman. One more movie, though, joins that year, and that is Shazam 2. Shazam 2 was announced officially today, coming to theaters on April 1st, 2022. Yeah, you heard that right. I checked everywhere. It is indeed April 1st, and it seems to fit that character, actually, because he's kind of a jokey type of character. It's a kid, after all. So to have the movie come out on April Fool's Day of 2022 is quite fascinating. I mean, that's kind of hilarious, and actually probably a good marketing thing, unless people really don't think that actually the movie is actually out when April Fool's comes around. So, but I think it's definitely some things that they could play with the marketing with that on April Fool's Day. Shazam 2 comes out April Fool's Day, which is, not that long after Black Adam, if you really think about it. So we can definitely see probably Black Adam cameo, maybe just alluding to a Black Adam towards the end of this movie. I'm not sure what's going to happen in this movie, Shazam 2. What have they have in mind? I know they were talking about things like we've seen the villain from the last one, the little caterpillar. So it's like it's going to take him into all these weird imaginary worlds. They will have to up the budget for this one in terms of the kind of fantastical, maybe even Doctor Strange routes in terms of the second one, but we'll see how that turns out. So that is coming out April 1st. There's 3 superhero movies, 3 DC superhero movies coming out in 2022. 2 of them are core characters, Flash and Aquaman, and finally Shazam, who may be a core character later on. You never know. Maybe later on he might be part of the Justice League. For all we know. The next one is there was that Game Awards tonight, and they showed a lot of different games and cool stuff like that, but they also decided to do a sneak peek of Birds of Prey. Now I've already seen this, so I'm just going to go through kind of what happens in this trailer. Lots of different colors. You see the characters there. It's very fun. It's very poppy. You have that music going in the background. Of course, lots of great action shots. Great shots in here, like John Wick style action, of course, because Chad Stahelski is doing the action for this, and also great, just great compositions great pieces of how they put the shots together here. The color is fascinating. The art direction is weird. I mean, look at all these hands and stuff like that. And, it definitely shows you the comedic side as well. I think this is probably, I kind of laughed at this part where, I don't rage. And this part looks beautiful. I mean, the scenic things here. So the action looks like very much, even the look of it looks very John Wickish. That's the part I'm actually looking forward to. So how is this movie going to play out? We won't know until it comes out in February, but it looks like they're really upping the marketing efforts for this as we get closer to next year. I'm still anticipating they're going to do like a final trailer. We still have not yet seen what people were talking about, how Black Mask has a real Black Mask, Huntress, and everybody actually has like different costumes. We still haven't seen that part of it. Are they going to, keep it for the rest of the actual film that's coming out? That's possible as well. But I don't know. Let me know what you think about this little snippet here. It looks like Black Canary is gonna be kind of the highlight of this movie, with Harley Quinn. Harley Quinn is Harley Quinn. We've seen her. Huntress and Black Canary interaction seems kind of fun as well. That'd be kind of a crazy, be kind of interesting to see as well. And like people said, that's kind of like the comics where they kind of had that little banter. Yeah. It's coming out February 7th, so we'll see how this movie turns out, right? Now, let's get back to the Black Suit Superman for a second here. So, the Black Suit Superman. This was the huge bomb last night that Zack Snyder pulled out. For a lot of people in the middle of the night, for a lot of people that was waking up. For me, it was like right before I was going to shoot, so I decided to just go live. And yeah, I swore like a motherfucker, and it was I know it was crazy. And the first 2 minutes, I think I was just cussing away, and that's just. I was just really excited, so I apologize if you heard a lot of that, but I was just really excited. I was crazy. I was like going nuts. I thought the Snyder Cut was coming out already. I don't know, but it was a great night. It was a fantastic night, and thank you all who were able to come on and join me in this celebration of actually getting to see the Black Suit Superman, getting to see something that is in the Justice League movie, Zack Snyder's Justice League, like the official title, Zack Snyder's Justice League. But let's get into a little bit more, because a lot more has revealed out, and a lot of more people decide to just talk a little bit about more, just reveal a little bit more about the suit, and we're trying to put our heads together and figure out, what does this mean? Why did he drop it now? Is it really the black suit? Like, why is the behind the scenes still in the blue and red? Where was he going to use this? Why did he do that and that? Blah, blah, blah. So we're going to talk all about that. Now, I thought this was interesting. Viewer Anon said this. The intriguing thing about this, I had heard Superman was the film's villain next to Steppenwolf, and it was one of the major reasons Warner Bros. Got cold feet after Batman vs. Superman. It would also explain why most of Cavill's scenes in the final cut are directed by Whedon. Hashtag release Snyder Cut. So Viewer Anon, he's is an individual who's went through or heard of people going to test screenings before. Now, I'm not really sure of his credentials and stuff like that, but he has said some things about like Wonder Woman 1984 and screenings of other movies as well. So with a grain of salt. But what he'd also heard, as this was a ways back, and who knows if it's real, is Superman came back earlier in the film. He was amnesiac, confused, and angry, but will eventually regain memory of who he is late in the second act. So that also kind of reveals that he actually came back a lot earlier than what have known that, they kind of Joss Whedon kind of chopped up things and moved things around so that it fits his narrative. But Zack Snyder's Justice League could potentially be different. And I remember Mark McClure, who played, the old Jimmy Olsen. He played the security guard. He was supposed to be at Memorial's Park as well. He was supposed to, chauffeur Lois Lane around. He did reveal to Sam at Team JVS that a few years back that the Heroes Memorial Park was a scene that was supposed to be early on in the film. So that gives more reason, to that possible fact that Superman was a lot more involved in the story, possibly half evil and half good. So, but that's still theories in the sense, and just seeing that it's a black suit once again is definitely interesting. But one of the questions were asked was, well, a lot of, people were saying that he never shot the black suit. Humberto Gonzalez, Jeremy Conrad, those guys, people, they were saying, never shot the black suit. It was just a Easter egg in the behind the scenes. And we've seen that in the deleted scene where he walks past the black suit. But now we know from Zack Snyder last night that he did choose the black suit before his Flight 2.0. And then we go back to this December 6, 2017. This is an inverse article. This is, I think this is this is part of the comic book debate interview. I could be wrong, but he said this. Okay, Fabian Wagner, and the cinematographer, he said this about the black suit Superman. Okay. Wagner says scenes with Superman wearing his black suit were removed in the final cut. There were scenes shot, Wagner said. It's a cool-looking costume. Sadly, we didn't see that either in the final act. So that time, Fabian Wagner did say that they did shoot a few scenes with the black suit Superman. So I thought that was kind of interesting to kind of find again. I think Carl's actually the one who pointed it out. Bob Diggy, he pointed that out, that if you go back to this article, that there is something there to be had. What was interesting about this date is this is December 6th, 2017. So this is like a month after the Superman thing. I'm sorry, after Justice League came out, and this is possibly before the Blu-ray came out. Oh yeah, it was before the Blu-ray. So there's still things about, they said you'd come. He says, looking up in the mystery character, let's hope you're not too late. So this is the part in the trailer that was cut out of the movie and became a Superman deleted scene, right? So, but at least now we kind of wondering, okay, well, so there was a few scenes that were shot. They shot, Henry Cavill in the suit. But a lot of people are saying this picture here is photo edited, like it was photoshopped. Like this is actually the blue suit, and it was photoshopped to look the black and silver suit, right? And it could, there's a lot of credence to that, as well as some people have looked really closely at where the lines are and how it's like put together and why the color is interesting enough. I don't know. I don't have any specialty in that matter, so I cannot tell you what I think about that. I'm just going to tell you what other people have said about that. So who knows at this point? But I want to pull up John Aaron Garza pulled up a good point here, and I want to look at this. He believes, so he is interpreting as this was the blue suit, and it was probably photoshopped, and there is a lot of credence to that, because like I said, in the behind the scenes photos, we actually do see Henry Cavill in the blue suit. He was wearing the blue suit. He's on the behind the scenes. It's not in the movie. He's walking around with the blue suit, with the red symbol, with the red cape. It's not hidden. They did shoot him like that. Zack Snyder was there. He was mustache-less. It was that suit. So then what? Then how? What? But Zack Snyder said there was always going to be the black suit. The whole time it was supposed to be a black suit. What I think John Aaron suggests here is that Zack Snyder knew he was being compromised. He knew, well, this is after the fact that Jeff Johns came in and says, hey, we want to accelerate the hope and optimism, so he needs to get into the red and blue suit. Even though Zack Snyder had planned to further down the row, JL1, JL2, and into 3, it's a gradual progression, so he gets back into the blue suit, right? But JL1, Zack Snyder's Justice League, was always supposed to be the black suit all the way. So, did he compromise and say, fine, we'll just shoot the blue and red? Yeah, he kind of did, but not without some precautions, things to put in place to ensure that maybe he'll be able to come back later and edit in post the blue suit back into the original black and silver. How? John Aaron says, at least now we know why Michael Wilkinson, the costume designer, added in that shiny layer underneath, because it would look freaking amazing when it's changed to black and silver. As you see here, Michael Wilkinson putting in the silver part, right? And so you got that silver pattern in here. And so with the silver sheen, you can actually kind of see it better, right? And you're wondering, wait, what does that mean? I don't understand. Well, with the black suit not having anything underneath to help accentuate the things, the suit was just a flat black, meaning they learned from Man of Steel that they need to accentuate Henry's physique while also allowing the audience to see the suit without being shadowed by lights. So, it's flat. I think there was another shot, a better shot that I don't have here, but where you actually see the black suit in the natural lighting, and the muscles get lost, like you can't see it, right? But with changing to it, you can actually see the muscles a little bit better. I mean, the lighting is kind of off in here, but he changed the blue and red to a black just to show you how that works. But it works beautifully, as we know now. If this is indeed the blue suit turned into the black outfit, or the test shot, when they shot him like that, Zack Snyder did it in post to see if all that sheen and that shiny things would show and would actually work on the outfit if he were to do all this in post without Jeff Johns and Joss Whedon knowing about it. Almost like securing his place, knowing that he has been compromised, but putting in securities like this so that when he can come back to it, like now, and work on it and make it his own Superman, the one he intended, the Justice League he intended, Zack Snyder's Justice League. Which begs to differ, well, not question, begs to question, is that if he's willing to go this far to have the footage that he shot and post-edit to the black and silver suit that he originally always have intended for his movie, does that mean, it's just a question to you, does that mean, if given the opportunity and the funding, would he use that opportunity and funding to get the original Steppenwolf design back into the movie? I would say yes, because why would Zack Snyder, a perfectionist director, proud, with lots of pride in his work, like any artist, would want to put his name on a movie if he didn't approve 100% of that film? And if he approved 100% of the OG Steppenwolf, the one we see in BVS, or maybe a little bit more evolved look of that, then why don't you think with the with the funding, and if he got funding, he wouldn't want to change that back to how it was originally supposed to be, which I think would be a lot better, because it would make it less confusing for people wondering, like, was this an alternate? Like, what's going on with the movie? If you see a different looking villain, you can totally tell this is a totally different movie. And it is. It is a different movie. It's Zack Snyder's Justice League. So, now when I hit into a little bit of tinfoil here, I want to end this on some tinfoil for you. And this tinfoil is not coming from me. This tinfoil is coming from Jeff Purdy. But I kind of see how this could go down. Okay, he posted this in the Hero's Journey. Hero's Journey is a Joseph Campbell timeline of events. It's or an idea. Anyway, so in the Hero's Journey by Joseph Campbell, which Zack Snyder loves to kind of allude to, loves to kind of use for his movie for Man of Steel. So there's a lot of things you can pull from that. And Jeff Purdy pulled something pretty damn interesting in the Hero's Journey. Okay, the road back is just before the resurrection, and if you remember Zack Snyder posting this, the long road back, and I always thought very interesting these words that he had here. It could be just in our minds, but as seeing that he is, a pretty, really, likes to use the Joseph Campbell Hero's Journey. Why don't we apply that? And Jeff Purdy did. So the long road back, maybe the road back is a little longer than the version he has here. But anyway, Jeff Purdy puts down this timeline where it starts Act 1, Act 2, Act 3, the idea of the hero's journey. And you see a lot of these things. And, from what we've seen on Vero, you can maybe apply some of this here and there. Seizing the sword. I remember there was one, the tarot card, where the guy's seizing 7 swords. I don't know if that's the accurate timeline for what would have here, but there is the road back here. The road back is right here, right? And it is towards the end of the act 3, and towards almost the end of the hero's journey. And as we feel like it's finally coming towards the end of this journey of the Snyder Cut before its eventual release. And I think even the reward, seizing the sword, may have been the time where we had Ben Affleck, Gal Gadot, and everything, that whole negotiation, or whatever would happen on November 17th, that was probably what it was. Possibly. I don't know. Or that could have been the ordeal in itself. I don't know, right? We don't know. Or test allies and enemies. You can apply a lot of these things. But the road back is the words that is applied to this. Is almost like he's telling us, if we catch on, and Jeff definitely caught on, that this is the time we're at right now, the road back. What's next? Resurrection. Right? Resurrection. James 2:14 had posted this on Vero. It was a picture of birth, death, and a resurrection. So if this is resurrection, and Zack Snyder says this is the point, if this is resurrection, then is this the timeline we're at right now? Is this resurrection? And we only have really one more goal left in this journey for the Snyder Cut, right? Now remember this, he has yet to rise. This was during possibly the ordeal stage or somewhere before the road back. In any case, he has yet to rise, but now he's risen. Maybe, tinfoil, maybe, but fuck, I hope that's the case. I hope this is definitely the area we are in right now, and we're just waiting. We're just waiting to see what happens next in this journey. Are we going to get an announcement? Is Zack Snyder going to do something? I don't know at this point, but we have come so far from it's been 2 years, and it's a long journey. It's an incredible journey, though. We've made a lot of friends and some enemies along the way, but the goal is still there. The goal is to release the Snyder Cut, and like Zack Snyder says, there is an official name for it now, and it's Zack Snyder's Justice League. You can take that to the bank. All right, guys. Well, that is it for tonight. I can't wait to see if anything happens tomorrow. I mean, things can drop out of nowhere at any time, so be on the lookout. I certainly will be. But until then, thank you so much for subscribing. Thanks so much for watching. Release the Snyder Cut.